So regardless of whether it's hot and dry or cool and wet, it's still a vast, empty country. And you're pretty well out of here on your own. So don't go at things like a bull at a gate, because if you break something, it could be the end of you.
That is a wet operator.
This is Peter Titoff, aka Turbo. The hard-driving, hard-talking trucker has 33 years behind the wheel, and he's up for any challenge.
The devil wants to play. I want to play.
Turbo owns his own truck and business. His greatest challenge is keeping the work coming in and his rig fully loaded.
Every time that wheel doesn't turn, it costs a couple of $1,000. Those wheels turn, they make money.
He's on a job heading from Darwin to the remote mining town of Mount Isa to pick up a load. From there, he's heading home to Brisbane in Queensland. At 4,300 kilometres, it's like driving from New York to Los Angeles. It's not the distance he's worried about, but the fuel bill.
It's going to cost me $4,500 in fuel to come home, so there's $9,000 in fuel in a round trip in a week.
To help grease his palm with much-needed cash, Turbo's desperate to travel with a full load to Mount Isa. But this small boat is the only load he can come up with. It won't even pay half his fuel bill.
Ow. Ow. I just broke a nail. It's not going to play.
And Turbo has another, even bigger problem. He still hasn't been paid for his last job.
$100 sitting in the pocket ain't going to get you very far.
Without funds, he can't fuel his truck.
I've got to wait for, roughly $2,500 to clear so I can do my fuel tonight.
He hopes his wife, Jo, back home, has some good news.
Yes.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
What you doing?
Oh, nothing much.
So, is anything gone in the bank yet?
No, it hasn't gone in.
Hasn't f***ing gone in.
No, what told you? They got stuff you around.
Ah, for f***ing sake. It's not what I f***ing want.
No funds means no fuel, means Turbo's going nowhere. Deep in the arid Queensland outback, the temperature's heading for 40 degrees. The last rain was months ago. For the last 9 months, it's been home to tipper driver Sharon Collins.
I've got a road train of 3 side tipper trailers and we're hauling gold from a mine out the back of Forsyth into the mill at Georgetown itself.
The 37-year-old Kiwi has been driving the big rigs for 2 years. She's based 8 hours inland, near the isolated town of Forsyth. Each round trip from gold mine to processing mill is 88 kilometres, twice the length of a marathon.
I try and get 4 loads in a day. It depends if you do tyres or you have an airline blow, or if all goes well you can get your 4 loads in.
4 gruelling deliveries a day, 6 days a week for 9 months. Sharon's journey has already covered nearly 80,000 kilometres, like driving twice around the world. And in these conditions, Sharon's truck takes a beating.
Flat tyres out here are a regular occurrence. It comes with the territory that we're in. It's just rugged terrain.
Flat tyres mean lost time, and in this game, the bottom line is simple. No delivery, no pay.
The truck gets paid per tonne, how much I cart during the day. If you have a few issues during the day, you'll generally only get 3 loads in. I live in my truck. Towards the end of the year, you do get over it. Yes, I'm over it.
After 9 months of hard yakka, for Sharon, the end is in sight. In 2 days' time, she goes home.
It is really special to go home, open up the doors and the windows, and it's so fresh and sweet smelling.
In Katanning, Western Australia, Glenn Kendall, aka Yogi, is getting ready for one of the biggest, most stressful weeks of his career. The 37-year-old heavy haulage expert has been booked to transport several huge agricultural machines deep into the state's wheat belt, to the town of Dowran. It's a 330-kilometre round trip. The destination, one of the biggest farming exhibitions in the country.
30-odd thousand people go past, I think, in a 2-day event, you know. It's going to be wet this year, I think, so it's even better when it's raining because farmers love the rain, so yeah. No rain, no grain.
This agricultural fair is big business. Each year, millions of dollars are spent on machines like these. It's down to Yogi to deliver his clients' pride and joy, on time and without a scratch.
The ultimate goal for me with everything I do is no damage. You want some breakfast?
For Yogi, there's more than just a big job at stake. He's a third-generation trucker and a devoted family man. And just 3 months ago, he and wife Amanda started their own business.
I suppose I do the behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, every business has got paperwork, so that's my big learning curve at the moment.
Amanda is also Yogi's pilot, guiding the wide-load truck through difficult sections of road.
We'll go home, get some lunch, and Dad will be there in a minute.
They've had to dig deep into the red to buy Yogi's second-hand truck and oversized trailer. It's a massive gamble.
I worry about the truck because it's an old truck. It's done 600,000 on a brand new motor. That's what worries me the most is, yeah, something could go wrong, you know.
This trip will be harder than most. Both Amanda and Yogi will be away.
It frustrates me going away, but, you know, once I know I've got to work, yeah. I know where I've got to be to make money. See you, kids. See you, mate.
In Darwin, owner-operator Turbo is still going nowhere.
I've got the biggest deadline that any driver anywhere in the world ever faces. Getting home to his family. Go and get my machine gun. Now.
Home is in Brisbane, Queensland, where Turbo lives with daughter Tracy and wife Jo.
I say I go away for a wedding. He burns the kitchen down. He comes in the door, strips off, throws his clothes all over the floor, then he sits on the lounge in his undies and watches TV.
Yeah, but I'm allowed
Typical male.
Jo and Turbo have been together for 17 years, but in the beginning, life was tough.
Because when we first got together, he was never home. It nearly broke us up. But eventually I got used to it. And so now it's a lot quieter when he goes away.
Turbo is on the road for 46 weeks of the year. Running their business from home, Jo and Turbo can never escape the pressures of trucking life.
You're worrying about people paying you. You worry about your insurance. You worry about is the load getting right. You got to worry about other idiots in cars. Are they going to pull out in front of you and you're going to run over the top of them? I can come home and I can just play engine. That's me meditation.
He'd do almost anything for you. Good to have you on your side. He'll protect you. You have him home for a short time, but then eventually he starts pissing you off.
Like,
What did you do to the poor egg? Oh, you killed the poor thing. What did
well,
you
they
do?
pissed me off.
Yeah, the egg didn't do it. I'm always happy when he comes home. But then it's always nice when he leaves.
In Darwin, Turbo still can't buy fuel. He's stuck. And now, the weather has turned against him. In the baking Queensland Outback, tipper driver Sharon Collins is heading to pick up another load of precious gold ore.
It's 10 past 11 in the morning and the heat would be in the mid-30s already, and it's still going to rise a whole heap.
It's not a job for the faint-hearted, but for Sharon, it's a dream come true.
Truck driving's always been a passion to me. The bigger the more bling, the cooler they are, the better they sound. I've always looked at these big trucks and just had a dream, and I just love it.
Sharon's heading for the Big Reef gold mine. Here, the one objective is to get gold ore out of the ground and to the processing mill as fast as possible. Every minute and every load is valuable.
The carting of the ore is quite important, so they come and load me straight away.
Each 70-tonne load contains gold worth more than $25,000. Over the last 9 months, Sharon's hauled a massive $20 million worth.
The loader is actually loading my lead trailer, which is the trailer straight behind the cab of the truck.
At 50 metres, Sharon's road train is more than 10 times the length of an average car. The trailers can be unstable and difficult to keep on the dirt roads.
These trailers here, they pull like a jellyfish at a disco. They're not easy to pull, they do slop around a little bit.
Out here, life on the road is tough, even for the best of them. Made even tougher when women represent less than 2% of Aussie truckers.
For myself to drive a truck with all the big boys, I feel very privileged. Women have come a long way in the bush in the last 20 years, and it's just incredible what we're allowed to do and what we can achieve now. It's a tough lifestyle, but we do it because we love it.
After 44 kilometres, Sharon's made it to the mine's processing mill.
Righto, mate, we'll come on and tip off and all be good.
Offloading a tipper should be simple, but Sharon's trailers have been designed to carry grain, not heavy rock. One of the biggest risks is getting the tipper doors jammed in the rock pile.
My doors are longer doors than normal. They drop down really low, and if you can't sit away from your pile enough, you will dry bog yourself.
There's another problem. As tons of gold ore pours out, rocks roll back under the truck's wheels. Tyres and suspension take a hammering. Sharon's worried about her tyres. In this heat, the last thing she needs is a flat.
Something like that won't break up and you'll just end up blowing a whole heap of tyres. Not good. I don't want to change tyres, it's too hot. We get too close to the piles, we get rocks between the jewels, and as soon as we get onto the bitumen, they'll blow both tyres, so. And I've got one left to get me hammer and bash it out. You gotta smash and smash. My little friend. That's the culprit and I don't want them.
Have you checked the bank?
In Darwin, Turbo is still waiting for money to fuel his truck.
No, nothing in there.
Ah, for f***'s sake. Can I go around and shoot all these now?
1,600 kilometres away in Mount Isa, his next load is waiting for him. If he can't leave in the next 24 hours, he'll lose the job.
But this is just bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
They say one thing and they don't do it.
Yeah.
They'll be getting phone calls tomorrow.
To fight the frustration, Turbo unleashes his secret weapon.
When I go to meditation, I'm going to a happy place. I do it so I become a better person, so I'm not an angry person, not an upset person. I don't need to be that person anymore.
Next morning,
That's hot.
there's still no money in the bank. His deadline is almost up. Desperate times call for desperate measures. At a garage, Turbo hopes he can use his charm to persuade the management to take a check. Heavy haulage trucker Yogi has arrived at the first pickup in a vital week for his new business. This brand new Cedar is worth more than $330,000.
Hold it.
It must be delivered without a scratch.
Just having a look as where I can go with the straps and chains. So obviously we don't want any damage. As people walk around it, they'll look at it, they'll touch it, they'll want to rub up beside it and pretend they own it.
The load's safely on board and Yogi's ready to leave. But then there's a problem.
I've got no brake lights on the truck now on the trailer, and something's shorting out and it's tripping the circuit breaker out there somewhere. So all the trailer lights work. There's just no brake lights at all.
Repairs and delays could cost Amanda and Yogi big money in lost business.
I've got to get it fixed. So our day has just turned pear-shaped.
His mechanic needs to check his schedule and ring him back.
Righto, mate. Thank you.
While he waits, Yogi wires up a temporary fix. With time running short, he takes a gamble and heads for the mechanic's yard. But just as he does, the weather serves up an extra challenge.
As the rain comes.
On wet roads, Yogi will have to carefully navigate his way through city streets.
First tree, first problem. Very concerned. Yeah, I'm watching out for the trees. Just low trees right along there. They don't want any damage. Big trucker coming through. Get out of the way.
This delay puts the whole job on the line.
Yeah, we obviously lose money because we don't do the job because we're not going to get back today. So one of my mates will get the job. If I've got to pull out on the deal, then that's a bit frustrating because, it's nice to put the money in the bank, so, yeah.
Up ahead, there's more bad news.
Oh, that's going to be tight.
A narrow section of roadworks.
Oh, this is going to stress me out, I reckon. Oh, bugger. Yeah, they got one lane block.
Yogi must squeeze his 4.5 metre wide load through the gap. If he gets stuck now, his whole trip will end right here. Sharon Collins is on her next run. Once again, she hits the narrow dirt tracks, a constant hazard with oncoming traffic.
Train outbound Cromwell 3.
Sharon must check in constantly to find out if there's traffic heading towards her.
It gets a little bit tricky through this area because it's all only single lane, and if you do meet somebody, there's not a great deal of room to pull off in places.
To stop her fully loaded road train, she'll need almost a kilometre of track.
Get a bit of a run up for this section here. You've got to have the right gears and be ready for another car coming, or we've got a blind hill at the top of it, so you never know what's coming over the top.
As Sharon reaches a blind hill, she's completely reliant on the radio to let her know what's on the other side.
We've got to be very careful. It can get a little bit exciting. I met a mob of cattle this morning on this hill.
As she makes it safely over the top, she heads downhill, picking up speed. Then, without warning...
And here we've got a water truck coming up.
There's barely room for one vehicle. engines slam on the brakes and Sharon risks rolling the 100-ton truck. Something or someone's got to give. In Perth, Yogi is still trying to make his way through narrow roadworks.
That's going to be tight. Hey, Curly. Stay there in the back. Just let me know what's going on. You've got one lane block. Yeah, right. Concentrate, eh?
With work trucks and concrete barriers on either side of the road, Yogi's got just centimetres to spare. If the road narrows any further, he'll be stuck fast. Adding to his stress,
Yeah, mate. Come on, bud. Come on.
a roadwork truck is trying to squeeze past him.
Thanks, man. It'd be nice if you move. I can make it, mate, if you get over. Good job, Togs.
While Yogi survived one crisis, at the mechanics yard, there's bad news. The mechanics can't look at the truck until tomorrow.
But at the end of the day, we've got to come back. So yeah, because now today's this afternoon load will have to be tomorrow. So because it's like 10 o'clock now and we're not going to make it today.
Sharon is on a collision course. Without warning, a water truck has appeared directly in her path. Sharon must push the 100-ton truck as close to the edge of the track as she can.
Not a great deal of room, but we're doing our best. I didn't hear the water truck call, but he may be on a different channel.
While she survived one hazard, a few kilometres later, there's another.
Yeah, we've got a blown tyre and we'll need to change that ASAP.
It's time Sharon can't afford to lose. She must change a 55-kilo wheel in blistering 40-degree heat. If she can't get the job done quickly, she'll miss the last run of the day, costing her employer big money.
Before you take the wheel nuts right off, you got to give the side of the chock, that's a chock there, you got to give that a hit so that they release, they jam on there, and that's what holds your tyres on. If you don't do that, they'll come off like bullets and do some damage to knees, shins.
At $600 a tyre, the cost of working in the Outback can rack up.
On an average out here, it'll be 2 to 3 a week tyre changes. Any more than that, you sort of don't make money on a job. Oh, watch all the steel sticking out of. Try and move my valve stem that's in the middle so it's accessible. This is where I start getting wild because it's the end of the day and nothing seems to work. It's all part of it. The tough times, the good times. In any job, you're going to get hard areas where you just don't want to do it, or, yeah, you're out here for weeks and months on end, and you got to do it all yourself. So what do you do?
While she can get back on the road, Sharon's now almost out of daylight.
Oh, it's hot. Righto. Another load, eh?
She'll have to race the setting sun to make her last run of the day. At a petrol station, Turbo's been doing some fast talking to get fuel.
After all this drama, one piece of good news. They will actually take a check off. So I can fuel and I can get the out of town.
While he can fill up, it's a gamble. If Turbo isn't paid by the time the check hits his account, he'll have a brand new headache to deal with.
$2,245.16 gone in 10 minutes.
That's clean enough. At least I can see what I'm about to bloody hit.
With his destination still more than 1,000 kilometres away, he needs to push on.
A delay at this point is a case of it breaks the bank. I've got to do what I've got to do to get there.
With just a small boat on board, he's running light. He can make up precious time.
At the moment, I'm basically loaded with thin air.
But up ahead, Turbo meets his nemesis.
Caravans. Here we are on a federal highway, 130 kilometre zone, and we're now doing 70 and dropping. It's all right, buddy boy. I got all the time in the world. I can do 60 kilometres an hour. They are an absolute danger, and I mean they're the biggest dangers on the road. I'm 40 metres in length, and I can't do anything. I've just got to sit here and endure this punishment.
While slow-moving tourists are part and parcel of life on the road, for Turbo, the hazard runs much deeper.
I had a caravan at 1 o'clock in the morning, sat in the middle of the road. I've had to put the truck off the road and into the bush. Seats collapsed into the floor, and it's just absolutely and utterly destroyed my spine. Big time. I'm having painkillers every day.
While Turbo can finally overtake, up ahead is something even more dangerous, a bushfire.
This area is actually very dry. It's really windy, which is not a good sign.
With around 50,000 of them a year in Australia, bushfires are a constant danger on outback highways.
If that has hit on the highway and it closes the highway, it is all over Red Rover. There could be 20, 30-foot flames right on the edge of the road. We're going to drive straight into the centre of that. Straight into the heart of it.
His hopes rest on a radio call to another trucker.
Over there, northbound float. Yeah, matey, what's the DA back here of this scrub fire? Whereabouts is she, mate?
It's not a worry to you, mate. It's still well off the road.
While the news is good,
Looking at it, we are sort of going to run along the edge of it.
Turbo's lost valuable time. He has a long night ahead of him. Yogi is also pushing hard to make up lost time.
I'm not going to chuck it away, yeah. I'm not going to give him the towel, yeah. Like, yeah, we'll still get it done.
Already delayed, he's fighting to keep a vital week's business on track.
I'm about to change my time slots from today till tomorrow for the loading times of the tractors, and just talk to the customers and look, reassure them that their freight will turn up to the Darren field day. It's a worrying time for them as it is for me.
On the road, he has another problem to deal with, keeping his $330,000 freight out of the Western Australian bush.
It's quite tight through here, the road sort of drops away.
A kilometre ahead, Yogi's wife and pilot Amanda is in charge of clearing a path for the 4.5 metre wide load.
There is quite a bit of danger when we're going along these roads here. You've got to fully trust the vehicle coming towards you, that they're going to pay attention to your sign and lights and things like that.
Being the pilot and wife is not always easy, but Yogi and Amanda's journey together began 9 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it might have been the curls that got me intrigued and better wander over and say hello. So, yeah, kind of glad I did. So, yeah, even truck drivers fall in love, you know, like so. There you go. Did you marry me again?
In an industry where broken marriages are common, Yogi and Amanda are a rare exception.
I see how hard it is for him all the time, you know, like leaving and, you know, the kids getting upset and things, you know, when he's walking out the door.
I've got a very, very understanding wife who knows the transport industry.
I couldn't do it all the time like he does. Like, hats off to him, like, of, you know, going out and doing what he does to make a living for us. Hey, Glennie.
Kelly.
Just watch out, we've got the rail coming up here. Make sure, you know, you look left and right.
Thank you, Kelly. Hello.
See what I have to put up with all day long.
I am married to my pilot, so, you know, at the end of the day, we've got to figure out who's boss on the road and who's boss at home, you know. I'm the boss of this job and I got my wife's permission to say so.
On the road, as in life, Yogi depends on Amanda. As his pilot, his life is in her hands. Up ahead is a narrow bridge. Amanda warns oncoming traffic by moving into the middle of the road. But in his wing mirror, Yogi spots something. A car has decided to pass him, blind, over the bridge, risking both drivers' lives.
Wait till the overtaken lady. Must be a bit of a hurry. Just one more thing.
The sun's almost setting on Sharon Collins. She's racing to complete her final gold ore run of the day. After 9 hard months on the road, the constant battering, long hours, flat tyres and stifling heat have taken their toll.
I'm a fairly tough sort of person, but I will break down. At the end of the day, I'll shed a few tears. I don't like the boys seeing that because it just makes me look weak, but we all have times where we just can't handle anymore. And I was a little bit like that a couple of weeks ago. I just blew 6 tyres and I couldn't deal with it anymore. I left the truck on the side of the road and I just went, need a coffee. I spent an hour out of the truck and that was it. Went back to the truck, felt a lot better, kept going.
Finally, Sharon can call it a day. She's been up since 5:30 a.m, but before she can relax, each of her 72 wheels will need to be checked.
Just giving my tyres a quick tap to see if anything's flat, then we have a flat tyre. Setting off the rim, I can see it straight away because it's an outside one. Don't know what's happened there, but it's flat, we've got to change it. That's 2 flat tyres today.
At last, the day is over, and Sharon can finally cook dinner in the truck's kitchen, the mudguard.
Living the dream, it's every trucker's dream. Oh, I don't know if it is a dream anymore after a while. It's very tedious and you struggle a little bit.
Yogi has finally made it to the Dowran Farming Exhibition.
Hello, Biggles!
Importantly, his load, a 10-tonne cedar, has arrived without a scratch.
We'll get it off here, we'll roll this up. We'll have to go into the field day site and unload the tyres because we've got the crane in there.
The delicate job of unloading is going well. Until Yogi spots a problem. The load is too long to come off the trailer without scraping it. He needs to raise the wheels of the load. If the $330,000 cedar doesn't arrive in mint condition, he faces an unhappy client.
Just hold him there. It's like, it's gonna drag. Where I know it's gonna drag like just a bit. Yeah.
It's not perfect, but the cedar's okay. Yogi now needs to get back to Perth for repairs to his brake lights as quickly as he can. He has 3 more machines to pick up and he's well behind schedule.
Now I probably can't load till 8 o'clock, so we're behind.
For Yogi and Amanda, this week was supposed to be a new start in their new business.
You got any money?
Never got the money, have you? Always got to bail you out.
Come on, give me some cash.
Behind the smiles, the pressure is mounting. If they can't get the truck fixed and back on schedule, a lifelong dream hangs in the balance. The next few days will be make or break. For Sharon, it's the start of a special day. She's scheduled to take a break after a long 9 months trucking. But before she can relax, there's one last obstacle.
We've been asked by the mine to do a safety audit on the truck to make sure it's compliant with all the safety inspections for the mine.
With strict safety rules, every truck must pass an inspection or be taken off the road.
A little bit nervous about the safety inspection actually.
And Sharon has a problem. Her windscreen is cracked. It's a minor fault, but it could fail the truck.
These guys here will be pretty strict. If they do stand me down, that's my job done. I've got to go and get it fixed, and I don't get paid if I don't pull the oars.
As she arrives, the inspector is waiting.
How you going?
Okay, what's going on today? I don't know if you know. Safety check, purely safety, okay?
Yep.
Your flashing light, I've seen it working, so I'm going to pass that, okay?
I've got one on the tail as well that's working.
Okay.
So, yep. Left and right, I can do left and right.
Repairs in this remote outback post are rarely quick. If she fails, she and the company risk losing thousands of dollars.
Okay, now all your tyres.
Yeah, I did 2 yesterday, so they changed out good. And I got 3 spares left on the rack.
Hydraulic cylinders and hoses, conditions of hydraulic.
I blew a hydraulic hose the other week. It's been changed out, but there's still a little bit of mess around, but we got no water or anything to clean, so it wasn't too bad actually.
No.
So far, so good. But it's time for Sharon's big worry. The cracked windscreen.
Windscreens, you good? No.
Yeah, I've got a crack through them both, but they're not in visual.
Thousands of dollars in lost earnings is riding on the decision of the inspector.
It's all good. Okay, I'm happy.
Cool. Thanks, Don.
Have a safe trip.
No worries. Thanks very much. Whew, that was all good. We passed with flying colours. I'm happy with that because, yeah, it means I can keep trucking.
With the drama over, Sharon can look forward to that well-earned break. But suddenly, there's a change of plans.
Unfortunately, I thought I was going to be able to go home this weekend, but that's turned to custard.
The company needs her to stay. After months of drought, the forecast says the rainy season could be about to break. It's all hands on deck to get every last load in before the weather arrives.
So So I'm not really happy about it because I'm tired and I just want to go home.
She's been baked, battered and bruised for the last 9 months. After 800 trips and nearly 80,000 kilometres, Sharon has to once again get back on the road.
I've got to keep trucking while the work's there because as soon as it rains, there'll be no work. So, yeah. It's just a long time to be trucking.
In the dead of night, Turbo's pushing hard, but something isn't right.
I can hear a metallic sound coming out from underneath somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is as yet.
All I can do now is just see if I can see anything.
Out here, deep in the outback, it's a dangerous place to have a problem.
It's real big snake territory, this. Mate, and they'll actually be curled up on the ground. Just make sure this is right. Yeah.
A loose chain seems to be the problem.
That's all it takes, is one little thing like that could end up losing the whole boat off the side.
But Turbo's spotted something else.
I just want to climb in and just double check this. Oh!
A part of his brakes has come loose. It's hanging by a thread. He's out of mobile contact, hundreds of kilometres from the nearest town. He's alone in the pitch black of night and in snake country. To make matters worse, if Turbo can't fix the problem, he risks losing a job and thousands of dollars.
When it comes to moving gigantic loads, Mark Cromwell from Robin Johnson Engineering knows his stuff.
He'll fit through there.
Mark and his team have made a name for themselves, hauling electrical switch rooms.
Oh, they're going to have fun landing that building.
Massive sheds full of delicate circuitry. Into the middle of cities. And the middle of nowhere. But now, Mark is facing the biggest challenge of his career.
This is just some big equipment. It's just a building that's been built bigger than most of the roads that we're going to be travelling on.
At 31 metres long, 7.5 metres wide, and twice the weight of the space shuttle, this is the mother of all switch rooms.
The building itself is 181 tonne, and the kit inside, I don't even know the price tag, but I ran out of zeros and the calculator stopped. This is the biggest thing that's ever crossed from this side of town to the other side of town.
Getting through town is just the start of this journey. From Adelaide, Mark and his team will follow a winding series of roads to the town of Orange, 1,500 kilometres away. The town's 40,000 residents need the switch room to upgrade their entire electricity supply. The key to success is riding on these 136 wheels.
This isn't one trailer. This is modulated out of lots of different trailers.
But this trailer has an Achilles heel.
You've got lots and lots of these hydraulic lines. So what happens if one of these goes, all of a sudden she starts dumping out fluid, the front of the tray is just going to start dropping down, or if it's back there, she's going to start sagging to one side.
Adding to the stress, this load can't budge an inch, literally.
So what we've got to make sure is we don't flex the base frame or the building, because if we flex that, we flex the switch gear. And the tolerance given by the manufacturer is we're only allowed to flex 3 millimetres.
Midnight. And 2 years of planning is about to be put to the test. A task this demanding calls for a crack team. Mark has gathered 12 of the best.
We need some dishwashing detergent or something. One of our tyres just needs a bit of air.
In the world of heavy haulage, Mark and Carl are competitors. But for this epic challenge, the two are joining forces.
Problems are going to be the width at the height it is, the width at the base and the top.
Time to get this monster shed on the road.
10 minutes after you're supposed to have left.
Let's go.
Just getting out the gate. Stage 1. Show's about to start.
You all right, Carl?
In the hottest seat of the convoy, Lee Morgan.
Lee Morgan, who's in the front truck, he's going to have a lot going on. He'll have 2 radios in there. And the trouble is, with all the flashy lights, you've got police lights, pilot lights, you get blinded, so really you're just driving blind.
Driving in the dark is far from ideal, but it's the only way to avoid city traffic. Mark will be Lee's eyes, along with 2 other pilots.
The building is wider than the road, so you need someone either walking or sitting in that passenger seat to get a line down the side.
Ahead, a minefield of hazards. These truckers will need to be at the top of their game to deliver this enormous, fragile and expensive load in working order.
He's going to go down.
Paul Andrews, aka Sludge, is a petrol head in every sense.
I'm scared I'm going to die. It might go bang.
He loves his truck, the Phantom.
Come on, baby.
He hauls fuel for a living.
Ooh.
And when he's not working,
Hello, my dick.
he still rides the hell out of it.
I just want to go playing. That was all right. I like to race everywhere. Get out of bed and start racing.
Today, Sludge has half a dozen fuel drops to make, including a rush job to a new customer running urgently low on petrol.
How much have you got on?
5,000.
That's good. Doesn't run out of bloody fuel.
Yeah, right, eh?
From Perth, Sludge is heading 800 kilometres north into the harsh outback around Murchison Settlement. It's a lot of work for one man in one day. Adding to his load, 3 tanker trailers instead of his normal 2.
We've got about 76, 78,000 litres on board. We've got petrol and diesel.
To get the job done, he'll need every last drop.
We've got about 5 or 6 places up there we've got to deliver to, so we'll have a bit of pressure on.
Sludge's customers rely on his fuel to run their homes.
Thank you very much.
Their businesses.
This is the post office, the general store. You've got to try and look after them.
Their vehicles.
No fuel, no power, no nothing.
Customer number 1. And Sludge is feeling the love.
I just gone into the shed to get the key now, and here's the DVD. Paul, thanks, Kate. That's quite nice.
He can't get too mushy. Sludge has a serious job to do.
4 tanks of boom. It's a great way to spend your day. Wondering if you're going to end up in the sky in the stars.
But there's not much boom flowing right now.
Where the hell's that not going? That's all on. Hose is right. It's not letting the fuel come out of the trailer.
With other jobs to get to, including a customer who's run dry, he needs to pump and go. Out here, no fuel means no electricity, no refrigeration, no communication, no life. With a constantly moving top-heavy load and narrow bush tracks, carting cattle is one of the most dangerous types of trucking.
You can roll them over really easy.
Schmidt's livestock haulage have been moving beasts through the bush for 36 years. But now boss Liz Schmidt and her team are facing an epic operation.
The logistics of it is really huge. Lots of trucks, lots of people, lots of cows.
Massive traffic.
Schmidts need to move 20,000 cattle onto 2 ships in only 3 days.
It's not cornflakes. You don't just load them and go. You have to take care of them.
The Schmidt truckers are hauling cattle from yards in Charters Towers and Woodstock to the port of Townsville. From the furthest yard, it's 140 kilometres. To fill 2 ships, it'll take 125 trips. More than 20,000 kilometres. Half the distance around the planet.
Until the last beast goes on, we can't rest.
Keeping the cattle and the trucks moving is 31-year-old Brenton Holmes' job. As the operations manager and a driver for Schmidt's, he's got his hands full.
As far as cattlemen go, they don't get much bigger than 20,000 head at a time. You started loading out there, or? No, not yet.
The day's just started and Brenton's already playing catch-up. His trucks are bumper to bumper at the yard when they should be heading to port.
We're meant to start at 10:30 now.
At the port, the exporters are waiting.
They are live animals and we need all trucks to be on the go.
The boat's right to start loading and we're half an hour behind the plan.
If the ships are held up, they'll have to pay a fee to the port, costing thousands of dollars. But there's more than just money at stake.
It is a 36-year business. We've been doing this for a long time and we have a huge reputation to uphold.
With a truckload of expectation and $18 million worth of cattle waiting.
A lot of money. A lot of money.
Brenton can't lose any more time. 1 a.m.
Yeah, right on the edge of me. Slowly we're starting to make our way across the right now.
Mark Cromwell, Carl Andrews and a dozen others are crawling an electrical switch room worth millions to a town 1,500 kilometres away.
Yeah, mate, I'll just go straight over the top of that one.
There's no one on the back wheels, a straight edge.
Is that up too bad, mate?
It's starting to come down now.
Yeah, everyone's on the black stuff.
With trucks and trailers, it weighs close to 300 tonnes, and it's longer than 2 tennis courts.
Touching there, you gorgeous.
Lee Morgan has the daunting task of steering the mega load.
How's that sign on the left there, Jake?
Bit over 200.
These truckers are liable for any damage to or by the switch room.
One way or another, if it's too tight, something's got to go.
Lee's point man is Carl Andrews.
30 k's an hour is our maximum speed. It's all full of gas insulated switchgear. Very expensive, very fragile.
The load is so heavy it takes 2 trucks to move it.
Right, I'll take it forward, mate.
Right, Brad.
In the back truck, Brad Culf. This is Brad's view for the next 9 days.
But it's pretty slow. The streets of Adelaide aren't designed to have a 300-tonne load go through it the size of an Olympic swimming pool.
This overpass is the team's first test.
Guess we got a very low bridge and a very high building.
If Mark's calculations are right, the switch room will fit under with millimetres to spare.
Yeah, Carl's going to lower the trailer and then we're going to have to watch it very carefully.
But danger from above is the least of their worries. At a remote cattle station in Western Australia, Sludge's fuel pump has seized up.
Where the hell's that not going?
He's got 76,000 litres of fuel to offload. Right now, he can't fill a single cup. He thinks air in the hoses might be stopping the pump. Suddenly, a more urgent problem. Sludge has got a leak. It's coming from his catch tank. Every time Sludge clears air from his hoses, residual fuel gathers in the catch tank. It needs to be emptied. A flammable leak in bushfire country is a disaster waiting to happen. With the catch tank sorted, Sludge can clear the air from his hoses.
There we go. Going again. It just had an ear lock when I changed over from diesel to petrol. Beautiful. We're done here. One down. So they'll be happy.
Another 100 kilometres and he reaches his next customer. This job is 6,400 litres. It's a lot of diesel. But Sludge's pump is feeling its age.
Getting like me, slightly rooted.
Over its lifetime, it's pumped more than 50 million litres of fuel. But right now, it's so slow that all Sludge can do is wait. And wait some more.
Fixes a bit of boredom. Thank Christ for that. Onward and upward.
Sludge is now heading into dangerous country. Only months ago, a driver died out here.
You got to send the right people out here. You can't send town people out here. They just got no idea how harsh it is. It's probably 45, 50 degrees. He got bogged in a creek crossing and tried to walk back to a station. He died, oh God, 500 metres from his truck. Just crazy.
An alarm alerts Sludge to a serious problem.
We're dropping here. I know what's going on.
No air causes the brakes to lock on. Sludge couldn't have picked a worse place to break down. Operations manager for Schmidt's Livestock Transport, Brenton Holmes, is pushing hard to the port of Townsville.
There's just that slight bit of anxiety about it all. That's part and parcel of the job. If you're too relaxed about it, things will be missed.
A ship is waiting for its cattle. If its departure from port is delayed, there will be huge fees to pay. On Brenton's truck, 120 steers. It's just a tiny fraction of the mass exodus of beef Brenton is in charge of.
We've got 18 trucks lined up. See, we've got nearly 20,000 head of cattle to go on 2 live export ships. So, yeah, we don't need anything to go wrong.
They can see going to shit. Yeah.
In the truck ahead of Brenton, Ross Sanderson, originally from Lancashire.
Ross is getting to port as fast as he can. But when carting cattle, push too hard and things can go horribly wrong.
Drive real gentle, so you're not shaking them around. You definitely can't do any emergency stops, because you'll put a mast overhead and that's how you kill them, mate.
Close to the port, Ross pulls over to check his load.
Check them every so often just to make sure you haven't got one down.
A small steer has fallen over. It's in serious danger of being trampled.
We just need to stand them up so they don't get squashed.
The other cows aren't helping. It's safe on all fours. Ross needs to keep moving to the waiting ship.
Well, we're nearly on the wharf now. We're just outside the wharf gate.
But there's a delay. 3 trucks are lined up in front of Ross.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a hold up. Just play the waiting game.
After 30 minutes, nothing's moved. By the time Brenton gets there, the traffic jam has grown.
6 trucks in front of me lined up, waiting to get in and unload. That makes me wonder if something's gone wrong. What's the drama? What's the hold-up?
Nearly half of Brenton's trucks are now stuck in gridlock, with 1,000 restless cattle inside. If this ship doesn't get loaded soon, other ships could get delayed, causing big waves at the port. In Adelaide, the 180-ton switch room is stuck on a curb. The trailer needs to be lifted. Only 30 millimetres are needed, but it still requires a massive amount of hydraulic power.
That's what happens on these curbs with the legs. You've got to get them up at an angle, and we want to keep the thing as low as possible, so you're always going to have problems.
Over one hurdle.
Anyway, fun bit.
Yeah, good. You can get them left now.
Ahead, an overpass. Its clearance, 6 metres. The height of the raised load, 6 metres.
This is squeezing time.
Just lower this up so I get there. Hello, mate. We'll take it down to the bridge. Just level it up when we get there.
The trailer is lowered 30 millimetres, as low as it will go. Including trucks and trailers, this rig is heavier than a jumbo jet. Any contact would inflict serious damage to the bridge and load.
All of it. Take it forward a bit.
The team is on high alert for the sound of steel scraping on concrete. The margin for error suddenly gets worse.
Just keep it straight as you can for the moment.
The truck is heading up a rise, pushing the building closer to the bridge.
About 10 metres to go.
Yeah, centimetre perfect. She just got through by that much.
But for Lee, the next leg of the journey has even less room to move.
Trees, both sides of the road.
100-year-old trees line the route.
The next 5 kilometres, we'll have tree issues.
The weak dawn light is improving visibility. But there's no avoiding this forest.
Making matches out of trees.
And now the trees are striking back. A skid rail on the roof has ripped loose. It's meant to keep obstacles from catching on the top of the building. The switch room is exposed.
Stop.
Fuel trucker Sludge is hearing alarm bells.
It's a low air buzz that's just come in. The pressure's dropping right off, so we'll go and have a look and see what's going on.
A loss of air pressure can be a disaster for a road train. Without air, the brakes lock on.
It's dropped air. It's either done a booster or an airline. You can hear this trailer here sucking air. These brakes here are the hot ones. Oh.
The nearest help is 80 kilometres away. Sludge needs to fix it himself.
Oh. Here we go, an airline. Stones hit it, rocks hit it, and it's come undone, and all the brakes on this trailer here are starting to come on.
To get the brakes to release, Sludge needs to reattach the air hose.
As it builds up here, then it starts pressurising the line again. This is where you don't want to be 6'6". Somebody hasn't done their maintenance right, and it was me that did it. No, there we go. I got all the air back up, so I'll just have a look and just check and make sure it's right. Yeah, no, you can't hear it leaking now. We've got 2 farm runs before we get out of here tonight, which will be getting on late now. Alrighty, we're going down the road.
Sludge's next delivery is a brand new customer who has run out of fuel.
We've never been into this place, so it'll be interesting to see if we fit in here.
Making things harder, he's got 3 trailers instead of his standard 2.
Right. Coming in.
To manoeuvre his 37-metre rig, Sludge is using every inch of the driveway and his cab. Get stuck now, and untangling this giant metal snake will take time Sludge and his desperate customer don't have. In Townsville, the ship has stopped receiving cattle, backing up 6 of Brenton Holmes's trucks.
Makes me wonder if something's gone wrong, like what's the drama, what's the hold-up?
Frustratingly, no one can tell him what's happening, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. The cattle are locked up there for some reason.
Finally, after a 2-hour delay, Brenton's operation is moving again.
They must have had to do a deck change over on the ship, so... Go on!
He needs to get 20,000 head of cattle on board in less than 72 hours.
Until the last beast goes on, we can't rest. We've got to keep our wits.
Not helping the situation, he's got 2 reluctant passengers.
Oh, I've got one that's down there, mate, yeah. Go on! Hey, hey, hey! Oh!
And no amount of coercing
Hey.
is getting them off.
Yeah, a couple just a little bit crooked. And I'm going to get a break to go on the next boat.
It'll cost precious time, but Brenton needs to take these 2 back to the yards.
a bit exhausted by the time they got to the boat, so we'll take them back out here and give them a chance to recover. They'll go on another boat in a couple of weeks' time.
Meanwhile, the other trucks are still going flat out.
So this is trip number 3 for the day. There's another one to do yet.
By the time Brenton gets back to the yards, the fresh air has worked wonders.
Up and walking around, all right? Run back out here, sort of recovered a bit.
Next morning, and after some much-needed rest, the truckers are back into it. 6,000 cattle have been moved. 14,000 still remain. For the drivers, it feels like a never-ending job.
Once we start, we've got to keep going. You can't dawdle around. It's a big deal for everything to run smooth, to get them cattle to the port as quick as you can.
Frustrating many drivers are constant delays and changing plans. And now Brenton is having to make another change.
A couple of the guys will have to do 3 runs to get it going.
For 2 of his drivers, it's 2 hours more work. After yesterday's gruelling day, it's the final straw.
Why don't you tell everyone else what you're doing? Look where we are now, we got held up. Oh, yeah. Don't quit point the blame. There's always someone else fault, some stuff. There, I'll drag you into that cab and wipe my ass with you.
The strain of this massive job is starting to take its toll. In Adelaide, the switch room has taken a hit.
Just drop that left side, Dean, back to where it was.
A skid rail designed to stop objects from catching on the roof has been damaged by trees. And they're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, now you left a little bit of the bunker.
They've cleared the trees. But ahead,
Bruce, keep an eye on that wire in front of him there.
power lines with 415 volts running through them.
Where's that second line?
Now that we broke the skid rail, which means we can easily snag wires, so just means it's going to be a bit slower now because we'll have to lift everything.
It's painful progress. After 5 hours, the team have come only 15 kilometres.
Probably run about 2 hours behind where we'd thought we'd be.
And now, a roundabout. Too tight to go around.
Give it a bit more to the right now. Tell us a little bit on the back.
They've nearly made it through. But there's a problem. A sharp object has wreaked havoc on their tyres. With 180 tonnes weighing down on them, changing these tyres is going to take some serious grunt. In Townsville, it's the last day of a 3-day job. The biggest livestock carrier in the world has docked.
It's a big canoe, all right? Very, very big ship.
She leaves port in 13 hours. But she still needs another 8,000 head. That's 40 more road trains, needing a lot of organising.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't understand how many cattle are going on the ships.
But all day there's been no sign of head organiser Brenton.
Why don't you tell everyone else what you're doing? I'll drag you into that cab and wipe my ass with you.
The radio argument wasn't missed by boss Liz, and there's been fallout.
Just a little bit of drama here this afternoon. I've sent Brenton home. It's been a long day for him. Also, I've taken charge.
The other driver in the argument has been fired.
It's about teamwork for us. You have to be a part of the team or you don't stay.
Losing 2 key players at this stage is a serious blow.
Certainly stuff we don't need. We've got 2 of the drivers who actually stepped up and said that they'll help us out by doing a couple of extra ones.
One of those drivers is Ross. But on the road, things aren't going well.
We should have probably passed about 5 triples by now, and I think we might have passed 1, so I'm thinking there could be a bit of a drama going on there, but we'll find out, I suppose. Yeah, we got to hold up. There's a big line up there now. Looks like we're going to have a big wait.
Liz stepped into Brenton's shoes only hours ago, and she's playing catch-up.
I've got 8 trucks lined up here at the moment, just waiting for the vet to come in from Charters Towers. Needs to be a vet here before the cattle go on to the trucks.
Every exported cow needs to be inspected by a vet. Right now, he's a no-show.
It's just a hold-up that we don't need.
5,000 cattle still need to move onto a ship which sails tomorrow morning. It's now 10 p.m. These truckers have 8 hours to load the ship. It's coming down to the wire. Fuel trucker Sludge is delivering to a new customer. He's never taken a triple road train up this driveway. The farmers are keeping a close eye. Damage anything and this might be Sludge's first and last visit. After a wrestling match with his steering wheel, he's made it to the wrong spot. He needs to reverse back 50 metres. But keeping 3 trailers under control, backwards, is one of the hardest moves in trucking.
Let's have a look. Beautiful. That's all right?
A tank full of petrol and Sludge has a new loyal customer.
Good on ya. Catch up with you. It's been a long day. That's the joys of it. As soon as I finish this one, get my motor on out of here.
After an epic 16 hours on the pumps, Sludge has made his deliveries and kept his customers happy.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
He can finally get some rest.
Good day done.
Next day, and Sludge's run back to Perth should be a relaxed affair. But he's pushing hard. Again.
Come on, baby. Come on.
Another load. And another road. But this job's all about him.
It's time to go and have a play.
Sludge has got a new toy. For all the long hours on the road, this is his payoff. Let the good times roll.
Yeah.
Sensational.
Schmidt's massive move of 20,000 cattle has ground to a halt. The vet is running late. He needs to assess if the cows are fit for transport. Until he arrives, nothing can move. Finally, after a 3-hour delay.
Away you go.
With the cattle checked, it's a race to the finish.
We got 3 gone. This is the 4th one. Yeah, right on, mate. I'll go and get my truck. We're finally going to get loaded up.
25 road trains need to go in 6 hours. With every load, Liz can breathe a little easier. After a long night, only a few cattle remain.
Yeah, 3:30 in the morning, but that's all good.
Liz and her army of truckers have pulled it off. They've moved a staggering 20,000 cattle onto 2 ships over 3 days.
It's exhausting, I'm tired, it's time I went home to bed, but between the truck driving crew, the crews in the yards, it's an amazing feat for all of us.
The switchroom convoy has wrecked 2 tyres in the space of seconds.
Yeah, I'll fix them up just down here. Start to run out of spares pretty quick. We don't want that.
To change the tyres, they could try and jack up 180 tonnes, but there's an easier way.
What we're going to do now is chain up the axle, lift it up and take the weight off, because naturally it's too hard to get a bottle jack under there, it's a bit heavy.
With a lift of the hydraulics, there's enough room to change the tyres.
This is part of life. All good.
Low on spares, they can't afford any more flats.
You got a grinder? Yeah, grab it. We just don't want to do any more tyres, so we'll cut this off. Thanks, mate.
The boys have reached a dirt bypass.
The goat track.
With a corner sharp enough to test any vehicle.
Yeah, we've got a couple of real nasty bits coming up here.
And it's ugly, isn't it? Doesn't even look pretty. It's virtually a 90-degree bend, which is not really user-friendly for something this size.
Just give it a touch to the right steering wheel.
These corners are bloody sharp and bloody annoying.
Right, kick on. We'll put them all in the dirt at the back. Starting to come off a bit, really straighten up a bit, or we're going to bottom out that back axle.
The angle on the road wants to twist the trailer in all directions. But bend just a few millimetres and the fragile components inside will break.
Just give it a touch to the right steering wheel.
You just want to keep that momentum. You don't want to get through the corner halfway and then have to stop.
A bit more to the right.
Back to the left.
After the punctures and the sharp corners, Mark is anxious to check his precious freight. If it's moved, seals could have ruptured.
So this is the gas charge.
The gauges are good. Everything's A-OK.
Looks good.
But outside, the sound of escaping air.
Oh, nearly. Quite loud. Walking past it, I heard it. Yeah. It's like the hose just come off completely.
And blowing out the relay. See here? Yeah, so to me...
It's coming from the brake lines. Lose air and the brakes lock on. This 300-ton behemoth is grounded.
No, we're just pulling up. I just noticed something's not right. It's best off to stop and check. I think I've got a tight brake or something somewhere. We've got big trouble.
Together for one final time, father and son truckers John and Justin Harrison face their biggest battle ever.
We've got to get a chain and lift it up.
A journey that strikes fear into the heart of even the most experienced truckers.
When you come out here, you get it wrong, you know you're playing for keeps.
With retirement on the horizon, John's sharing one last heavy haul trip with his son.
Dad's getting to the end of his tether now. It's just good to get one more in with him.
This is probably the last big long trip I'll be doing. I just like being with him. Any job, it doesn't matter what it is. Now, what would you like with your breakfast? Would you like a shovel full of dirt or some grease? Hopefully, everything goes to plan.
From Port Augusta in South Australia, they're shifting a massive grain harvester over 2,500 kilometres to Mackay in North Queensland. It's a journey that will either end John's career on a high or see him defeated by one of the country's most unforgiving roads.
It's just like driving into the unknown.
The Bergsville track is 500 kilometres of relentless dirt roads, stretching over 3 sun-scorched deserts.
They're the only concern we've got is if we get up the track and we get stuck there, you know, we don't want to be stuck out there if we can help it.
John and Justin face some of the harshest conditions in Australia, carrying an axle-busting heavy load. A giant grain harvester, weighing over 30 tonnes.
It's a load that's sort of oversized in all dimensions, and we had to pull it apart to get it sort of into a transportable size.
With thousands of kilometres of isolated roads between here and Mackay.
Have you done the back one?
Yeah, it's full.
Justin loads enough fuel to fill 30 cars.
1,500 litres, about 2,300 bucks worth, I think.
Justin and John enter the vast expanse of the Outback. They soon come face to face with unpredictable danger.
If one goes, they'll all go. So you just got to give them a bit of room and slow down. The last thing you want to do is hit a horse.
Just as the danger seems to have passed, it's eagle versus truck. And the truck wins.
We're running a little bit behind schedule. We're trying to get there a bit quicker, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
In Melbourne, Victoria, 21-year-old trucker Sam Spiliopoulos is duelling with traffic. He's running late to pick up a precious load of racing livestock.
We're on a pretty tight schedule. They've got a 2-hour window for me to pick up.
The thoroughbreds are competing in a marathon race over 800 kilometres long.
And we'll be on the road till about 4 o'clock in the morning.
And the owners are nervous.
Where are you?
About 5-10 minutes away.
Sam is under serious pressure. He has to load the racing stock onto this 19-metre semi-trailer by 11 p.m. tonight.
They've just called us up and, yeah, they said they're waiting on it, so, yeah, the pressure's on a bit more now.
His strict schedule demands regular rest stops to maintain the well-being of the 1,200 racing pigeons.
Transporting such a unique animal, there's pretty big responsibility involved with it. Not a lot of room for error.
From Melbourne, Sam will head north almost 1,000 kilometres to the race starting line at Cromwell on the central western plains of New South Wales. In less than 2 days' time, these races are due to begin an epic flight lasting more than 11 hours.
It is a long way to fly back from Cromwell. My race is the complete opposite to them. Their race is home and my race is to get them there.
16040.
Cockbird.
The pigeon's welfare is crucial. A lack of water during transport can affect their physical health and reduce their racing fitness.
We've got strict time limits that we have to stick to, water and feed on them by a certain time so they're not stressed out.
Sam knows he can't let the pigeon trainers down. His own father's prized racing birds will be part of the cargo.
Bloodline is everything. They're just bred for speed and homing.
Experienced pigeon trainer Andrew Spiliopoulos is selecting his team for the marathon race.
There you go. Come on. Righto. Come on, guys. Time to go to the race. Come on. To win the 500-mile race is an absolute honour. It's our second longest race. Definitely a marathon.
The best pigeons can earn big dollars. One of Andrew's most athletic birds brought home $50,000 in prize money from one race alone.
8173. Beautiful pigeon. He's got distance blood in him and he's a distance pigeon and he's on the list.
In less than 2 days, in a field of 1,200 racers, Andrew's birds will go head-to-head with some of the fastest in the country. But only if his son Sam can deliver them on time.
We're just arriving at the first pickup, Diamond Valley. So yeah, we've got to try and get these cages on pretty quick and get out of here. Now we've got the 2 cages on here and we're pretty much set to go now. Yep, so we're just leaving Diamond Valley now. We're running a bit behind schedule. We're about 50 minutes behind what I'd usually be, so we're trying to make up some time.
But the gridlock Melbourne traffic has other ideas.
We've got roadworks here, which is going to hold us up a bit more.
So rarely do you get across this 1,000+ kilometres of dirt without some issues happening somewhere.
In Central Australia.
It's rough through here. It's rough and it's hot.
Veteran trucker Steve Graham puts in another gruelling day at the office, hauling heavy-duty damaged vehicles across the dead heart of Australia.
4 machines and a triple road train. It's a lot of freight, a lot of weight.
A trip that has seen him hammered by Mother Nature in all her moods.
You're leaving us hot, dangerously hot.
He's been choked.
Mongrel dust storm you can't see. I was thinking about shutting the truck down. There was so much dust.
And drenched.
Then that night, I've got a thunderstorm, lightning all over me. It doesn't rain here sometimes for years. And, you know, here I am. I've got to get a raincoat out.
Starting in Central Australia, Steve's now crossed the Western Australian border on a massive 2,400-kilometre trip to Perth.
But regardless of whether it's hot and dry or cool and wet, it's still a vast, empty country. And you're pretty well out of here on your own. So don't go at things like a bull at a gate, because if you break something, it could be the end of you.
Steve reaches the halfway mark on Australia's longest shortcut, the Great Central Road. It's ferociously rough, and for Steve, it's riddled with bad memories.
Well, when you travel any road, there's always memories associated with it. And this next bend up here is where Teeny died from the poison bait. She's buried just up here.
Just 3 years ago, Steve's dog Teeny died tragically on this road when she ate the toxic bait used to rid the outback of feral pests. Now, Steve's new dog Bella is riding shotgun.
Bella wants to get out and have a look here. She knows we're going to stop here. We're a bit further out of town and the danger of baits seems less. Now it's blowing a gale up here. I can't keep up with this weather. Anyway, check the gear. I don't believe that. That shits me. More dramas. This trailer's starting to bug me.
Steve's transporting a trailer as a favour for a friend, but it's plagued with problems.
Dead, I haven't got time to bloody fix people's gear for them. This is bullshit. I have to shut the truck off.
Steve's chaotic journey has just got tougher.
And another shower in mud and shit. In, out, in, out.
Father and son trucking team, John and Justin Harrison, are facing a head-on battle with a massive wedge-tail eagle. The eagle loses.
We just slowed down for a big wedgie to get off the road, and he went the wrong way, and I don't feel too good about that.
Justin has no time to pause from the incident, as the red desert ahead threatens peril if he's not 100% alert.
We've just gone from the tar to the gravel.
Welcome to Corrugation Highway.
The old mate's corrugations are back. If you don't take it easy, the truck will start to let you down, bits will fall off it and break and leave you up the creek without a paddle.
The desert's never short of surprises.
Yeah, this bit of road is got a bit of water laying on it.
Water-clogged potholes on the dirt track can cause major problems.
Probably get a bit soft and it's liable to give way or sink underneath you. If you were to sink here, right now we'd be in a world of trouble. There's no help out here, so you just hope for the best. We're going to pull up soon, see if we can chase down the feed. Everything's travelled good so far. We'll get a quick cuppa into us and we'll get going. And here's your coffee, Dad, here.
I won't get the chance to come out here again. That's one of the main reasons I'm here. And did you give Justin a break with the driving when he needs one? But I'll put this away.
John wants one last crack at the notorious Birdsville track.
Get stuck into it and see how our luck goes up the track here.
This father and son team are in dangerous territory.
We've got about 312 k's of dirt to go today.
With no phone coverage or emergency backup, if they break down, there's no one coming to save them. And on this road, anything is possible.
No, we're just pulling up. I just noticed something's not right. The truck start labouring real hard there, so best off to stop and check. We've got big trouble. Yeah, we've lost a set of wheels. Yes.
Catastrophe.
It's not good. It's not good at all.
2 wheels are missing, torn from their threads. Father and son are stranded, hundreds of kilometres from the nearest help.
We've got roadworks here, which is going to hold us up a bit more, which isn't good, because we're already running a fair bit behind.
In Melbourne, rookie trucker Sam Spiliopoulos,
hopefully it doesn't hold us up too long,
has just 33 hours to get 1,200 prized racing pigeons to the start of a marathon race.
Oh, got one green light that's gone in our favour. So we're just pulling in now to Notting Hill, the main factory where the semi is.
With big money prizes at stake, no expenses spared keeping these thoroughbred racers in the best possible conditions.
We keep our pigeons all on airbags so they don't bounce around, curtains where we close them in, refrigerated roof so the heat and the cold and everything doesn't come in.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility to take care of the birds.
Playing wingman to the young trucker is experienced pigeon wrangler Cam Muriel.
Your hair's looking good, mate. It's looking much better.
Sam and Cam leave the city late with a trailer packed with an expensive living cargo. Sam needs to make up lost time, driving late into the night. The new day brings blistering hot conditions.
Middle of the night.
Sam's worried about the safety of his fragile cargo.
got to get there about 11:30 before it gets too warm and get the birds off the road and watered and fed.
And unpredictable drivers aren't making his job any easier.
They go about 20 k's under the speed limit.
What's going on?
He moves to pass. The car in front brakes suddenly.
And they don't realise that we can't stop as quick.
And the birds are startled. Sam wants to check the pigeons aren't too shaken by the altercation. And it's getting hotter at an alarming rate.
So now we just got to get the water on the birds as quick as we can and something to heat.
This is high carbohydrate. They've been fed yesterday at home, they're fed here today, they're fed tomorrow, and they fly on Saturday.
Sam and Cam work hard to make sure the birds are relaxed.
In the truck it said it was about 30 degrees now. Hopefully it doesn't get any hotter, and any hotter than that's not too good for the birds.
If temperatures keep rising, the birds will be at risk and officials won't hesitate to call off the race.
They might say the conditions aren't ideal, so we could be doing this for 3 days in a row.
Dust, dirt.
Truckie Steve Graham is somewhere he doesn't want to be. Under his truck, doing something he doesn't want to do.
You got a snap torque rod bolt.
Fixing his mate's trailer.
Right, this is starting to annoy me.
In the middle of nowhere.
You got 3 axles running like that. They've all got to run in line. And the torque rod between the front axle and the middle axle's gone. So this middle axle's trying to run back like that, tear the spring pack out, and drop everything on the road.
Steve prides himself being prepared for every scenario if his own gear fails.
The gear that's in here is a bit lighter duty than what I'm used to using.
But on his mate's trailer, there's no spares.
I haven't got a torque rod bolt here. It's starting to bug me, this.
But the Outback magician has the answer.
I'm just going to put a chain on that torque rod and chain it back to the other axle where it's supposed to be. That'll stop the axle flopping around and it'll get me home. Yeah, bastard. And my knife. Tie this thing up. Out of the way so it's not dragging on the ground. My grandmother taught me this knot.
Fix one problem and another appears.
And when I saw the other one was broken, I had a look at these.
And the bad news keeps coming.
There could be more of them ready to drop off. You play those games on the bitumen, but not out here with constant corrugations. You're just asking for trouble.
Steve is forced to spend precious time checking every nut and bolt.
I don't like doing other people's maintenance for them. Is that a car coming? Bella's watching the road, but I've got to keep an eye on her because I'm under here, and if a car comes past at 100 kilometres an hour, come here.
Suddenly, Bella is behaving strangely.
She hasn't picked up a bait, has she? What is that? She's eating something there.
Steve lost his last dog to a poison bait. Is the tragedy happening all over again?
We've got big trouble.
In Central Australia, a father and son are in deep peril.
I wonder whether we lost them. Just back there somewhere, I'd say.
A set of wheels have fallen off their truck, stranding them on the Birdsville track, 200 kilometres from the nearest town.
I'll have to go for a walk down here and see if I can find these wheels. Wonder how far back.
Outback trucker Justin knows that he and his father are in big trouble.
What are we going to do? Just walk back and see, or what? Might be walking a long way.
Couldn't be too far back.
In searing 46-degree heat, he's desperate to get his truck back on the road.
We just got to find the rest of the pieces and we might be able to work out a plan to put it back together and get it going. Other broken bits there.
Morale is low.
As for expecting anyone to come and help you, That's not going to happen. Put about an 8-inch slice in the sidewall of a brand new tyre, so she's stuffed.
With every piece of wreckage Justin finds, his news just gets worse.
It's costing a few bucks right now. So far that tyre's probably $500-600 at least. It adds up pretty quick.
Thoughts of putting his truck back together are crushed.
You want a hand there, young fella? Give me a hand to get up. Hold on. Whoa.
For Justin and his dad, the only option is to chain the damaged axle and attempt to crawl their heavy vehicle to Birdsville. It's not going to be easy. Justin needs to access the damage to the undercarriage.
We've done an airbag.
A suspension system airbag has been damaged and it has to be removed. Justin has to deflate all the airbags from underneath the truck, but with such a heavy load, it's a dangerous operation.
Make sure you don't get jammed under there.
It's all good.
You'll be going on a lettuce diet, boy.
The airbags are deflating.
You going to be able to squeeze out under that front axle or not?
The loaded 40-ton truck begins to drop.
Trying to get out of under here somehow and find something. I might be able to get out this way. I'm too fat to get out.
Hold on.
That's not good. Get something under that, please, Dad.
Hey?
Get something under that, please, because I'm out of space here.
If the trailer drops any further, it could crush Justin under its enormous weight.
Rocks or something.
Under that airbag?
Yeah, under the airbag, under whatever, because I can't fit anywhere else. Well, you need to think of something.
In New South Wales, Sam and Cam's cargo of live pigeons are in danger of overheating. A heat wave has hit the state and it's driving people mad in the cabin.
How hot is it, see? You got the heater on.
Is that better?
And on the road.
There's a car behind me.
What's that car doing behind?
Impatient drivers are piling on the pressure, threatening to pass blind.
How close is he to you?
I can't even see that bloke.
Is he hooked onto the back of it?
It must be.
There's a truck coming up here.
Lanes are pretty tight.
Fortunately, a change of heart.
There he goes. Off you go, mate.
At least he's passed now.
Sam pushes on, but the temperatures outside the truck are rising. His 1,200 thirsty pigeons need water, and soon. With the clock running down, they approach a random truck inspection site. Being pulled over could mean lengthy delays.
Hopefully we don't get caught up there. Oh, they can take anywhere from half an hour to an hour. Well, they might go over the whole truck, which will take a fair amount of time.
Everybody dreads these pull-up places because they check all the logbooks, check every nut and bolt on the truck. That's what me and Sam, we dread.
Even a smooth truck inspection chews up time.
They're on there. Oh, they're pulling me in. They're pulling me in, yeah.
If they find problems with Sam's truck, they can impound the vehicle and its cargo. The race will be cancelled. Sam's reputation is on the line.
How you going, mate? Yeah, not bad, yourself?
On the edge of the Great Victorian Desert, veteran trucker Steve Graham is having a shocker with a broken trailer.
I don't like doing other people's maintenance for them.
And a poisoned dog.
She hasn't picked up a bait, has she?
For Steve, it's a major worry. He watched his previous dog die from a bait, not far from this location.
She's eating something there.
With the nearest vet hundreds of kilometres away, all Steve can do is give Bella some water and wait.
She's a good watchdog. She's turned into a bit of a bush dog. Oh, she looks like she's settled down. She might have got rid of it. Righto, Belly. Let's see how you go, eh? You right? Come on, you feel better? Okay, come on, we'll have a go. You tell me if you're going to be sick, all right? I've just done a temporary repair there. It should be right for the dirt. So.
Still shaken from nearly losing Bella, Steve has to get back in the game.
Oh, well, we'll get on with it and see how we go. Looks like dog's all right. After losing teenage, I really worry when I start seeing what could be the first symptoms of it. I don't want that to happen again.
The road deteriorates, spelling trouble for Steve's damaged trailer.
The mine driveway up here is when it's really going to go bad. We're in about 5 or 6 kilometres, and that's when the real pain's going to start. This is where I worry about, you know, light torque rod bolts now that we're down to this pounding hard yakka. There I was averaging 65, 70 kilometres an hour. Now I'm doing 25 and that's a bit quick. I'll have to back it off and walk it through. There's a bit of radio chatter going on now. It sounds like there's a couple of big, heavy loads coming towards me going out to the mine.
Suddenly, Steve has a lot of company on the isolated Outback road.
They got 2 5.5 metre wide bulldozers, heavy. I just missed that with a shaking, mate. What do you want me to do when I get to wherever?
The driver tells Steve to pass the bulldozers on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, roger, I'll go through them. All right, mate, no worries. They've asked me to pass them on the right-hand side.
In the heat and dust, it's a dangerous move.
People tend to drive on the wrong side of the road for wind and dust-blowing reasons.
Just as Steve begins to overtake, a third fully loaded truck appears from nowhere.
Have you got an eastbounder coming up behind the 5.5 metre loads heading towards me?
3 giant trucks and 1 narrow road. A recipe for disaster.
As soon as I come over the hill, I knew they were going to pull me in.
In New South Wales, rookie driver Sam Spiliopoulos and his precious load of racing pigeons are going nowhere fast.
When we get pulled in, you don't know how long it's going to take. They're pretty harsh on you. No truckie really likes them.
If the truck isn't roadworthy, it could be impounded. And if Sam's driver logbook isn't in order, it could be an expensive mistake.
They could do a fine up to $1,000. Fingers crossed that they get you over and done with, else it can drag on for quite a while.
Averaging just 360 grams in weight, the delay means more time without water for these tiny thoroughbreds. The hopes of the pigeon breeders are resting on Sam's young shoulders, but right now, it's out of his hands.
I thought I was going to get done for something, for sure.
A close shave for the Pigeon Express. After a nerve-wracking 15 hours on the road.
We've done it.
We're here.
We've made it here.
Sam and Cam finally make it to the starting line of the race.
Yeah, they'll be pretty hungry now. It's been pretty much, 24 hours since they had a feed.
Race day.
We're just waiting for clearance from the release people.
It's a tense pre-dawn call to the officials.
Yeah, our job's not done until they're out of the cages on their way home.
If the heat wave continues, Sam and Cam could be forced to wait here for up to 3 days till the weather cools.
Hello, how you going, mate? What's going on?
All confirmed to release the birds at 6:45 as planned.
The temperature is expected to drop. The race is on.
15 minutes to go, Sam.
Just as soon as that door's open, they're like a horse out of the gate.
1.5 minutes.
The doors are all mechanical. They all pull down in lots of 8. In less than 10 seconds, all the birds will be up in the sky.
10.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Go.
Go. It's always something special to watch.
They're up and they're gone. Job well done, mate.
Yeah.
Sam heads back to Melbourne. He knows the pigeons will easily beat him in this race home. Science is yet to solve the riddle of how pigeons can navigate over long distances. But they do it every time.
They're coming now. Come on, guys!
Sam is still hours from Melbourne when his father's birds reach home.
Here's one now. Come on!
They've flown more than 800 kilometres in less than 12 hours.
Beautiful landing.
Andrew's first bird home steps onto an electronic pad. His time is recorded as 17th out of 1,200.
Well done.
A great result for Andrew and his truck driving son.
Well done, girls.
But you need to think of something.
Well, just hang on a minute, will you?
Veteran trucker John Harrison is desperately trying to rescue his son.
Right, we'll get something under that, please, Dad. Even if you move that drum out the way and sit it under there.
Justin is trapped under his crippled truck.
It's sitting on the wheel. Axle nut.
Oh, that's not safe enough.
They are stranded on the Birdsville track, 200 kilometres from the nearest help. Now the fully loaded 40-tonne trailer is threatening to crush him.
What about if I get them rubber pads and put under that?
Well, is there enough of them or what?
I don't know. We'll go have a look. Judd.
Yeah, just pass them under instead of throwing them because you're just covering my eyes in
I
shit.
can't bend down here, mate. All right for you. You want the easy job laying on your back.
Yeah, I got the easy job. I just want to hurry up and get it done.
The pressure is on. Tempers are fraying.
That went up then.
Yeah, I know, because I'm so strong.
Off.
Get as much as I can under it, Dad.
Can you reach it or do you want me to try and get it?
No, I've got it. I just want you to sit still and stop kicking dust in my eyes.
Shut up.
Pain in the arse doing it, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I'll move your bar out the way again. Put that under there. You might have to kick the truck in the guts, Dad. Go and start the truck.
All right.
Won't pump up without air.
Oh, jeez. I'll go and start it up.
Until it pumps up, I'm stuck under here.
The engine pumps air to the airbag.
It's a matter of getting them up so I can get out and start chaining everything up.
The trailer should be rising.
I don't know why it's taking so long to pump up.
But it's not.
Off, there's another problem here.
Why, what's the matter?
On the inside of that back wheel, there's something hanging down.
Hose?
Yeah, got a bit of a bloody problem now.
If they can't get enough air pressure to inflate the airbags, Justin could be trapped for days.
It's gone from bad to worse.
Steve Graham is in mining country, deep in the Western Australian outback. He's been forced to drive on the wrong side of the road to pass an oversized road train.
Have you got an eastbounder coming up towards me?
It's getting complicated. A third truck approaches and wants to take over the narrow road.
We're in the hands of the traffic pilots.
The eastbound is sitting back behind the dozers at the moment, mate, waiting for the triple to come through.
With vehicles this big, a mistake could cause a catastrophe.
And they've asked him to hold back and let me, westbound, get past them on this incorrect side of the road.
Steve is given the right of way.
Big machines, aren't they? At the end of the day, we've all got 100 tonne hanging off the end of the steering wheel.
A win for Steve.
And the big mining machines have made the road a little friendlier.
There is a plus in this. They've definitely rolled the road down a bit. Now I've got more chance of getting this trailer out the other end in one piece than what I had earlier.
And the good news doesn't stop there.
This is it. This is the bitumen. You know, you feel happy each time you get a load across this road. Oh, gee, this stuff feels nice. It's nice to see already. It's quieter, it's smoother. I can see why people don't want to go out doing what I do.
Steve's on the home run, with just under 1,000 kilometres left to his front gate.
You don't want to get complacent just because you've got on the bitumen road. You've still got to remember that you've got a lot of freight on the back. So just don't relax your guard.
As he gets closer to his destination.
Now I've got to watch my truck driving here. I'm getting very close to the road train terminal.
Strict road rules force Steve to shrink his road train from 53.5 metres to 19 metres.
So it's a big game of leapfrog. You start off with a triple road train going down like the road like that and end up taking them home one at a time. I'll leave this trailer here now. A contractor will take it to Perth for me tonight. Well, we're going to be sharing the road with a lot of people now. There's traffic jams and your school zones and traffic lights and variable speed zones. It's a different kettle of fish, this business. I'm starting to feel closed in now. I'd rather make a decision about whether I've got a duck, a camel or a kangaroo than whether I'm going to get through these lights or not. Fairly full on in its own way, this business. So, yes, we're through there. I'm in the home street now.
Steve finally makes it home with a healthy co-pilot.
Hey, Belle, you recognise this road, don't you? I think the best part of the journey is always coming in the front gate.
And to make it even sweeter, two of his grandkids are there to greet him.
Are you driving?
2-year-old Jethro.
We're gonna turn this one on.
And 5-year-old Ethan are here to get lessons from a trucking master. It's been a 2,400 kilometre haul, battling chaotic weather, choking dust storms and roads that have taken the lives of many a driver. His biggest headache is about to leave him.
Bye, trailer. Glad to see that go out the gate.
It's gone from bad to worse.
After hours trapped under his truck in remote Central Australia.
On the inside of that back wheel, there's something hanging down. Yeah.
Justin has discovered an airbag hose has been ripped out by the wheels when they were torn from the truck.
This piece here is supposed to be in the back of the brake booster, but she's snapped off there. So they're leaking all the air out. We need to get these airbags up.
Justin has to find a way to repair the hose, but he's unable to move. And blinded by an angry desert wind.
Far out. Dust here. Got an eye full of shit here. It's a beautiful day to be doing this out here, which makes it a bit hard to see what you're doing. So you grab me a cable tie, will you, Dad, or some tape?
Where's the cable ties?
Beyond where the toolbox is there somewhere. I'll kink this hose.
Justin tries to stop the leaking air by closing off the two damaged hoses.
A 10-cent cable tie may help me get the air sorted.
I'll go and start it up.
This is Justin's final roll of the dice. It has to work. Finally, the truck is rising.
Oh dear.
The Great Escape After more than an hour trapped beneath the truck, Justin is finally free. With no time to recover, Justin and his dad have to chain the damaged axle. It's a makeshift solution for a slow crawl to safety.
We need a bit of good luck to get into town to get this repaired.
There's no other way to make Birdsville, 200 kilometres away.
It's getting a bit hot out there. I believe it's every bit of 41 today.
41 plus.
Yeah, I reckon you might be right.
I know I'm right.
All right, we'll see how we're going to go. Just have to poke along nice and steady. We've got about 200 to go.
The truck takes a pounding. But Justin's repairs are holding up.
We're just crossing over the border now.
It's been one of the toughest days of his trucking career, but Justin's within spitting distance of a well-earned break.
Going to make it in there tonight, and I'll be looking forward to a shower and a feed, that's for sure.
Despite everything they've been through, veteran trucker John is still feeling optimistic.
Thankfully, we're here in one piece, and the truck's here and so is this.
John's final road trip is not over yet. The father and son team must still tackle 1,700 kilometres of tough outback roads to deliver their load to Mackay. And in this job, there are no guarantees.
With this axle chained up, just got to keep our eye on things because it can go south pretty quick.